Hey guys, Dr. David Jockers, and today we're talking about making green drinks. And so I like to do this on a regular basis. I use my little Breville centrifuge juicer right here. I've got a whole bunch of different greens. And there's really three categories when we're looking at green drinks as far as like what we're looking for when we're combining different sorts of vegetables or fruits when we're juicing. The first one is really hydrating vegetables, like things that are gonna produce actual water and juice. That's gonna be things like celery, cucumbers here. Cucumbers are fantastic for producing juice. They're one of the best things for detoxifying our body, really helping our body to reduce cellulite, reduce just excess fluid and edema and things like that. Great for our skin. So we love things like celery and cucumbers. Bok choy as well. You see these little leaves right here with the bok choy. The bottom portion of that is very water rich. So it's a really great hydrating vegetable that we want to be utilizing when we're making green drinks. You can also, if you have good blood sugar stability, put a little bit of green apple. Now green apple is more of a sour apple. Your typical red apples are very sweet. They've got a higher sugar content. We're trying to stay in ketosis, but add a lot of nutrients in with the green juices. We don't want any sort of, we don't want a high level of sugar. So again, the red apples, just too much sugar in those. The green apples are more sour, lower sugar content. They also have something called prosidin, which is a powerful cancer killing agent. So this really helps us to cleanse and detoxify. So a good idea would be like half of a green apple. Possibly if you're more active, you have better blood sugar stability, doing one whole green apple. You just don't want too much because again, you don't want too much sugar. But green apple is great because it provides a little bit of sweetness and it also provides a lot of water. And that's important because if you're trying to juice things like kale and collard greens, which are a fantastic idea to juice, chard, right, things like that, they just don't produce a whole lot of water. So they don't produce enough of the water. They will produce a lot of chlorophyll in green, just not the water. So you need things that will produce the water. That's the celery, cucumbers, bok choy, green apples. Then you get your greens in there. So again, you could do Swiss chard, red chard. You could do watercress. That's a fantastic one. You could do collard greens, kale. You could do lots of different things like that. Those are fantastic. Spinach is another good one. I didn't even mention spinach. Absolutely amazing. Those things are loaded with chlorophyll. They're loaded with tons of B vitamins, which help with liver detoxification and methylation. Anybody that's got a chronic disease is going to need it's going to need a lot more support for their liver. They're going to need a lot more support for B vitamin utilization, particularly vitamin B2, which is riboflavin, vitamin B6, pyridoxine, and vitamin B9, which is folate. So they need more of those. The green vegetables are one of the best carriers for that. Chlorophyll really helps to detoxify our bloodstream. We find a lot of that in these dark green leafy vegetables. They also have a lot of different electrolytes, potassium, magnesium in them. Again, people with chronic disease, whether it's cancer, autoimmune disease, something like that, they're going to be deficient in magnesium. So getting more of the magnesium from the dark greens, really good idea. Okay, so we've got, again, our dark greens, collards, kale, watercress, spinach, things like that. We've got our hydrating vegetables, right, and fruits, such as the Granny Smith or green apple, the cucumber, the celery, and the bok choy. Then we're looking for bitter herbs. And we know bitter is good for our liver. So bitter herbs are going to be things like parsley, dandelion, cilantro. These things are really powerful for helping our body to detoxify. You can also get turmeric, ginger, milk thistle. These things are just so good for helping us to detoxify. They help with liver function, kidney function. If you're battling a chronic disease or you just want to prevent chronic disease, you absolutely want to be getting those bitter herbs into your system. So again, bitter herbs are not going to produce enough juice, but they are going to provide a lot of powerful compounds to help us detoxify. So we combine the hydrating fruits and vegetables, Granny Smith apple, cucumbers, celery, or bok choy. You take your choice of those, one or two of those. And you know, one other thing I forgot was lemons. That's hydrating as well. There's a lot of juice in there, lots of vitamin C, lots of vitamin P, which is citrus bioflavonoids that help enhance capillary permeability, improving oxygenation throughout your body, very alkalizing. So throw a lemon or a lime in there will help again with hydrating. Then you take your dark greens, either spinach, kale, collard greens, or watercress, something along those lines. You only need one. You don't need multiple dark greens. Take one really good dark green, at most maybe two, and put that in there. And then you take your bitter herbs. Now, bitter herbs, you can use a bunch of those if you like. Because of the compounds are slightly different, you can use things like parsley and cilantro together if you want. You can throw a little dandelion in there. Just remember, too much bitter herbs it's gonna create oftentimes an undesirable flavor. So just be careful with that. Mint actually can be really refreshing. So if you throw a little bit of mint, that's considered a bitter herb, has the same effects, good for the liver, good for the kidneys, but not quite as bitter, not quite as in a sense, just pungent tasting, so it won't affect the juice as much. You put a lot of ginger in there, the juice is gonna be almost to the point where you can't drink it. So you just wanna start with a small amount of ginger, maybe like an inch of ginger root, which we've got in our mix here somewhere. If you do garlic, right, you could throw garlic in here, but again, I would try to keep it to like 1 to 2 cloves, because too much will just be too strong on your body, too much of an antimicrobial effect, too pungent, it'll be tough to drink and to swallow. You might notice a lot of nausea, things like that. So best strategy is go with 2 hydrating fruits and vegetables, okay? 2 to 3. So you might take a Granny Smith apple, you might take a lemon, and you might take cucumbers, okay, for an example. Or you could take bok choy, celery, and lime, for example. You take 2 to 3 of those. You take 1 dark green vegetable, that could be kale, right? For one shake, it could be spinach for another. And then you take 2 of the bitter herbs. So maybe parsley and ginger for one of them, okay? Or actually a really good combo is parsley and garlic. Garlic has got a really, really strong aromatic compound in it, allicin, real strong sulfur compounds that affect our breath, right? And so parsley, the chlorophyll in there, really helps, in a sense, keep down the bad breath effect of the garlic. So it's a great combination there. The chlorophyll helps to deodorize our system, so real powerful. So you could do something like that. You could do dandelion and ginger. That's a great combination. Really good for our stomach, intestines. Great for our liver, our gallbladder, kidneys. So you could do a combination like that. So again, 2 to 3 hydrating. Okay, 1 to 2 of the dark greens, and then 2 to at max 3 of the bitter herbs. You mix those together, create just a superfood combination of a green drink, and drink that, and you'll start to see incredible health benefits. So that's some tips for green juicing.